It's really interesting, and I know I've had a comment with Emma before about how difficult it is as an artist to use somebody else's work. I think that there's an element of excellence in what Emma does and just how she draws and how she paints, that it becomes a joint venture. I don't think it is someone just duplicating art at all. I think it is someone interpreting and putting their own slant, and in that case, Florence would absolutely love it.
Florence was born in a small rural town in country Australia, in a town called Mount Perry. She left there pretty much as soon as she could in her early 20s and left for Southeast Asia, where she travelled with a group of singers and transvestites and musical, an entourage if you like, where she had a very good singing voice, where she performed. She ultimately ended up in Shanghai, where she opened up a dance academy. From her travels in Southeast Asia, she went to London, where she reinvented herself as Madame Pillier. She opened a dress salon, as you do, in Bond Street, very fashionable Bond Street. From there, she left England and she came back to Australia, this time announcing to the press in Australia that she was English and that she'd come home. She reinvented herself yet again. She is best known now for her wallpaper business. In the 1960s, when she was 60, she created what she's best known for, which is arguably one of the most prominent and boldest wallpaper studios of its time. Florence Broad has created a whopping 530, maybe more, designs in this time, from 1960 to 1977. Given Australia in the time, what she was doing was extraordinary. It would have been a very, very difficult business to run, and she was very good at it. She created this huge library of work until the time when she was brutally murdered in her studio in 1977.
The design library is so big that as a design library of over 500 designs, which are very niched into a specific time frame, that gives it a huge amount of credibility. And the second is just the excellence of the artwork. This is really beautiful, beautiful artwork. So we have people like Emma Hack, comes into our life, interprets them, does what she thinks in the right way, and becomes inspired by it because it works. And when you start with really, really good design, there is no end to it. If you start off with a design that has been custom built for one particular purpose, that's what you get. As soon as you take it out of its area, it loses its personality. I've yet to see a Broadhurst design interpreted badly. It just works.
First came across Florence Broadhurst wallpaper in a homeware store here in Adelaide called Flourish, and I've been looking for a way in which I can sort of create a blend of body into a wall. Verushka, very famous model from the late 60s, early 70s, used to paint herself into rustic walls. So for about 3 years prior, it was about 2002 that I saw her work for the first time, and I really wanted to find a way in which I could interpret it but do something completely different. So as soon as I walked into the store and saw the wallpaper, it was amazing. The creative process, actually creating this work, is very difficult. Basically, I hang the wallpaper and work out where the design's going to sit on the body, so I might move it up or shuffle it down depending. The one behind me, you'll see the bird's actually sitting on her shoulder and talking in her ear a little bit, so that was sort of designed to sort of sit that way, and the curve of the hip. I guess each wallpaper has its own different energy, and I want the body and the personality of the feminine spirit to sort of come out from it, from the little wallflowers. So the person stands in front of it, I set up camera, and basically I work through camera. So I take a look, go and paint a line, come back, look through camera, go and paint another line. I start up on the top of the shoulders and then slowly work down the sides, and then I fill it in. Where you've got like legs and limbs, it's really difficult sort of working from the connection point. So it might be, somewhere it would never be regularly down someone's arm as such. It would be like here, there, depending on where the form of the body falls. So it's actually really difficult. I don't work with stencils or projection or anything like that, and I think that allows for me to bring a part of me into the artwork rather than statically doing something that would be so flat and so perfectly to Florence. in the designs you'll see the brushwork, and I leave it like that rather than going back to my makeup artist roots, which would be to make it perfectly smooth and blended. I kind of like the painterly feel of my artwork for the art market, and I think that works quite well.
It's exciting because Emma's a very dynamic person, and there's always something happening, and that's great in art, and you like seeing your artists motivated, and so she's great to work with. Fun, always smiling, happy, really passionate about her work, and as I said, really fantastically motivated.
I guess I'm something new and original, and I pride myself on that. It has been a struggle, but what I do is viable, people love it, and really at the end of the day, I'm just happy that people want to put my work on the walls and enjoy it, and if they can see something into it, like the beauty of the feminine spirit and immersing yourself in your environment. I've got very environmental-based emotions, I love my environment and stuff, and I sort of see that this encapsulates that in a way, especially with botanicals and birds. If you look at my other work, I've got a lot of animals in my work, and some of the Broadhurst work, continues the animals, like Evolution Crocodile and the tawny frogmouth and my owl. So I think, but on the other side, it's very aesthetically beautiful, and I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with people just loving art because it looks pretty and nice and it matches their decor. And I think the wallpaper's really allowed for that because it is part of decor. Catalogue will be an edition-based collectible item, and within it we're going to put a range of the Broadhurst wallpapers, and the covers will be different colours and different patterns and designs, so it's going to be very special. I'm really looking forward to seeing the end product.
Mandala is a Sanskrit word that means circle. In Hindu and Buddhist religious traditions, sacred art often takes the form of a mandala. Emma's body painting wallpaper mandala pieces take that meditative quality a step further to talk about feminine spirituality and evoke a deep sense of serenity and contemplation. The Mandala series continues with Emma's highly acclaimed and hugely successful association with signature prints and the original 1960s and 70s wallpaper designs of the late Florence Broadhurst. A more perfect match between two quirky, trailblazing, original and fiercely individual artistic characters is difficult to imagine. And for her part, Emma continues to wrestle with ways to see how far she can push the Broadhurst wallpaper designs in new directions and add her own artistic flourishes and her own unique signature. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please join me in congratulating Emma Hack on another wonderful collection.